Clap everybody and say hello. Clap everybody and say hello. Clap everybody and say hello. Hello all our friends. Hello friends, how are you doing today? It's good to be with you. Everything that I brought with me to do today is about turkeys. How about that? I've got a poem and a story and a song to share with you today. The poem is very, very short. We'll do it at the beginning of our time together and then we can do it again at the end, and it goes like this. The turkey is a funny bird. His head goes wobble, wobble, and he can only say one word, gobble, gobble, gobble. Will you try that with me? The turkey is a funny bird. His head goes wobble, wobble, and he can only say one word. Can you gobble like a turkey? Gobble, gobble, gobble. Good job. Well, the story that I want to read today is called A Turkey for Thanksgiving, and it's by Eve Bunting, and the pictures are by Diane DeGroat. And I'm going to put my reading glasses on and scoot over here to my reading chair so that you can see the pictures while you hear my voice. A Turkey for Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving morning. Mr. Moose helped Mrs. Moose set the Thanksgiving table. Sheep will sit here. He likes to have a chair that's straight up and down, Mr. Moose said. Rabbit here, Porcupine here, Mr. and Mrs. Goat here. He smiled at his wife. Isn't it nice to have friends to share Thanksgiving? Isn't it fun to get your house ready for friends to come over? Mrs. Moose set out the paper turkey and the candles. They look good, my dear, Mr. Moose said. Mrs. Moose sighed. Yes, but I wish we had a real turkey. Everyone always has a turkey for Thanksgiving. Everyone but us. Mr. Moose nuzzled Mrs. Moose's head. Well, that won't do. I will go this minute and find you a turkey for Thanksgiving. So Mr. Moose put on his cap and went out. Mist wandered through the bare trees. Ooh, the cold made his nose water. Rabbit poked his head from his rabbit hole. Mr. Moose, is it dinner time? Not quite yet. Mrs. Moose wants a turkey. I'm off to find one. So Rabbit joined him in 3 quick hops. Hop, hop, hop. I'll come too. Moose's warm breath hung white in front of him. Snow crunched under his hooves and made little holes that Rabbit jumped over. I see the goats, Rabbit said. Mr. Goat raised his head and spat out the tin can he was chewing. Is it dinner time? He called. Not till I find a turkey, Mr. Moose said. We saw one down by the river, Mrs. Goat told him, and Mr. Goat added, a fat one. The goats leaped down from their perch. We'll show you. Sheep was farther up the hillside, looking as round as a fur ball in his winter coat. He does look very round, doesn't he? Is it dinner time? He bellowed. First, I have to find a turkey, Mr. Moose bellowed back. There's a turkey nest on the riverbank, Sheep called. Wait for me. It's a good day for a walk in this story, isn't it? The earth smelled of ice and moss as they crunched along. Above them, a crow hung, black as a puff of wood smoke. Porcupine was hiding in the underbrush. There's Prickly Porcupine. It's you, he said, and he put his quills down. We're off to get a turkey for Mrs. Moose, Mr. Moose explained. Do you want to come? Oh, I'm slow, Porcupine said. Pick me up on your way back. Who'd want to pick you up? Sheep asked, and then he laughed. Bah! I'll wait, Porcupine told Mr. Moose. They saw Turkey's nest right away, and Turkey himself was peering over the top of it. He looks a little nervous, doesn't he? "Turkey, Turkey," Mr. Moose called in his sweetest voice. "Ah!" Turkey jumped up from his nest and ran. Mr. Moose lumbered after him. "Turkey, don't run. We just want you for Thanksgiving dinner." And Turkey ran faster. He has some signs. They say, "Do not disturb. Come back after Thanksgiving." And this one says, "No turkeys here." He doesn't want to be found, does he? Mr. Moose saw the red and blue sheen of Turkey's nest. Turkey's tail brushed crumbs of snow behind him, and he tried to fly. "Too fat," Mr. Goat said. Turkey's legs bent in the middle, and he fell. Mr. Moose put a booted hoof on his head and smiled a great toothy smile. "I hope you don't have other plans for Thanksgiving, Turkey." Oh, he looks really nervous now, doesn't he? He helped Turkey up. "My wife won't mind that you're too fat," he said. "Let's go. It's getting close to dinner time." They marched Turkey in front. "I'm sorry about this. I can see that you don't want to come," Mr. Moose said. "But I must insist. A promise is a promise." There was a wreath of dried fruit on the moose's front door. Inside, the house was filled with Thanksgiving smells. Mr. Moose hid Turkey behind him. "Look who I brought, Mrs. Moose," he said. "Sheep, the goats, rabbit, and porcupine." And then he said, "Ta-da!" And he pushed Turkey around in front of him. "For you, a turkey for Thanksgiving." Mrs. Moose clapped her hooves. "I am so happy to have you, Turkey," she said. "Thank you, Mr. Moose. Now everything is perfect." "Shall we sit?" Sheep asked, heading for the straight up and down chair. "Let's," Mrs. Moose pointed. "Rabbit, you're here. Porcupine, you're here. Mr. and Mrs. Goat are over here, and look, I brought a chair from the other room in hopes of a turkey." A chair? For me?" asked Turkey. "Right next to me," Mrs. Moose said. "Light the candles, Mr. Moose." They're giving him a chair at the table. They're not fixing him for dinner, are they? There were bowls of acorns and alfalfa sprouts, dried since the summer. There was willow bark and cured grass and wild parsley. There were leaves thin and pale as new ice on a pond. "I hope you find something here to your liking, Mr. Turkey," Mrs. Moose said. "I wasn't sure of your taste." "You are so kind to worry about my taste," Mr. Turkey said. "I was afraid you would be worrying about how I would taste." He looks much happier now, doesn't he? "Heavens, no!" Mr. Moose smiled his big-toothed smile and filled everyone's cup with cold spring water. "It's so nice to have friends around the table at Thanksgiving." Turkey's waddles wobbled. "Gobble, gobble! It's even nicer to be at your table and not on it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody!" Happy Thanksgiving, Turkey. And that's the end. There's lots of stories around this time of year about turkeys who don't want to get eaten for Thanksgiving dinner. I have a song to sing, and it's about the same thing. It's about a turkey whose name is Albuquerque. Can you say that? Albuquerque. I'll read it to you first, and then we'll sing it together. It goes like this. Albuquerque is a turkey, and he's feathered, and he's fine, and he wobbles, and he gobbles, and he's absolutely mine. He's the best pet you can ever get, better than a dog or cat. Albuquerque, he's my turkey, and I'm awfully glad of that. Albuquerque, he's my turkey. He's so cozy in his bed, 'cause for our Thanksgiving dinner, we had scrambled eggs instead. And here's what it sounds like. Albuquerque is a turkey, and he's feathered and he's fine, and he wobbles and he gobbles, and he's absolutely mine. He's the best pet you can ever get, better than a dog or cat. Albuquerque, he's my turkey, and I'm awfully glad of that. Albuquerque, he's my turkey, he's so cozy in his bed, 'cause for our Thanksgiving dinner, we had scrambled eggs instead. Let's try that one more time. You guys are doing a great job. That's a lot of words to learn, isn't it? Okay, here we go. Albuquerque, he's a turkey, and he's feathered and he's fine, and he wobbles and he gobbles, and he's absolutely mine. He's the best pet you could ever get, better than a dog or cat. Albuquerque, he's my turkey, and I'm awfully glad of that. Albuquerque, he's my turkey, and he's cozy in his bed, 'cause for our Thanksgiving dinner, we had scrambled eggs instead. Give yourselves a clap. Good job, friends. That was a long song to learn. Okay, let's try our turkey poem one more time. And then I thought of one more poem I'd like to say with you before we go today. But back to our turkey poem. Remember about the funny bird whose head goes wobble wobble? The turkey is a funny bird. His head goes wobble wobble. And he can only say one word: gobble, gobble, gobble. The last thing that I want to share is the poem that we say when we're at preschool together, which we haven't been for a long time. But there's a special poem we like to say when we sit down together at the table for snack time. And I've been remembering it lately as I've been thinking about sitting around the Thanksgiving table and thinking about things I'm grateful for. And it goes like this: we're thankful for our family. We're thankful for our friends. We're thankful too for rest and care and little children everywhere. And it has some signs that go with it. And if you want to add the signs there, they go like this: we're thankful for our family. We're thankful for our friends. We're thankful too for rest and care and little children everywhere. I'm so thankful for each one of you, and I sure enjoy these times that we can get together and sing and read stories. Our time's up for today, so we'll sing our goodbye song, and then I'll see you the next time. Clap everybody and say goodbye. Clap everybody and say goodbye. Clap everybody and say goodbye. Goodbye all our friends. Goodbye friends. I'll see you next time.